And we're back. Here we see Lana on the football field as a cheerleader. She was a cheerleader in the comics. In some versions, she was a cheerleader. Which she was only like that for, I believe it was 3 episodes? No, or 2? I can't quite remember. Yeah, it was 3 episodes. Here we see Clark's fantasy of him being the football hero. I had the same exact one. Not exactly. I didn't throw everybody off at me at once, but I was getting the cheerleader, the head cheerleader, being the football star. Anybody who likes sports has probably had this dream. But Clark, it could be a reality if he were to do it. If he were to show the world his powers. Look how much taller he is than all the other actors. I heard that he had to wear sandals whenever they were close together. And Pete is always shown as not being a very good football player, but in some versions he's seen as being a star football player. And then here, I believe this is when I started watching the episode, right around this time, my first time ever seeing it. We've got Clark looking out, depressed that he can't do what naturally comes to him, but his father knows best, and he eventually learns that it is the right thing to do. It only takes him 3 more years. Here we see the iconic meeting of these two. Michael Rosenbaum said is claustrophobic, so I can only imagine how terrified he was when this was being filmed. And there's Clark looking very heroic. Tom Welling, he's grown to be a great actor in my opinion. Others disagree, but everybody has their own opinion, I guess. Michael Rosenbaum is probably the best thing to happen to Smallville. He's just a great actor, but you gotta credit the writing staff as well, because he wouldn't have these lines if it wasn't for them. And it turns out that this is where Clark finds out that right now he's not totally invulnerable, but he has invulnerability, but he slowly grows stronger and stronger throughout the series, which is a great touch to love. Here you see them with the red capes on, symbolizing Superman. You can see Jonathan doesn't like Lex very much. Some people the audience probably thinks whenever they see it, because they don't know the past, that he doesn't like them because he almost ran over his son, but we find out there's more meaning to that. As the episode progresses and the series, Lex Luthor, like I was saying, he has a great evolution throughout the series, and I love it. Here we see Clark looking out his telescope at the moon and then at Lana. I'm sure that every guy's looked at a girl, but not through a telescope. I've never done that. Some would call that stalking, but I try not to judge. I don't think that he looked through her window at her while she was naked, so Here we see Whitney. Him and Lana are going to talk about Clark's heroics, and you can already start to see his jealousy. A small bit. Here you see Lana starting to change her feelings towards Clark. And there's the jealousy look. And he tries to change the subject. Here Lana gives him her necklace, which plays an important role later on in the episode. And the episode after that. And a few more episodes after that. And that's when Clark just cannot look anymore. You can tell he doesn't have a supervision, or he wouldn't need a telescope. And back to the Scarecrow kid. This is one of the jocks who strapped him up on as a Scarecrow back in the day. 1987, I guess, was the year. I remember when the show first aired, I was in 8th grade. I was 13 years old. And I just watched it for a long time, and I really enjoyed it. It's the first series that I've ever watched and that I've kept up with and watched a lot of. And I guess the Scarecrow kid is doing what a lot of people who get picked on wish they could have done to their bullies, but he takes it too far. Then here we see Clark about to get his gift and also get taught a very important lesson, which he doesn't yet understand. And there you have it. Your father has no image. You can tell by Clark's face, he knows he's not going to get the truck. And here's a lesson that that teenagers wouldn't understand, and a lot of adults wouldn't, but the wisdom of Jonathan has to teach Clark to where he will understand. He knows where the money came from that bought that truck, and he's trying to teach Clark that just because you do a good deed does not mean that you should get something in return. Just doing the good deed and knowing that you did it should be enough, is what he's trying to teach here. And it turns, well, I'll get back to that in a second. Alright. Like I was saying, he's explaining how Lionel has used presents to win over people, and then he backstabs them. And Jonathan's afraid that that might happen, while at the same time he's saying to Clark that it's not to do with Lex, it's to do with his father, but Jonathan isn't perfect, and he really is judging Lex by his father. He doesn't want Clark to be influenced by that family.